Jaya Kunja Bihari. Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha. Jaya Giravaradhari. Jaya Giravaradhari. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Gopijana Vallabha. Jaya Giravaradhari. Jaya Giravaradhari. Oh. Yashoda Nandana. Jaya Brajajana Ranjana. Jaya Brajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana. Jaya Brajajana Ranjana. Jaya Brajajana Ranjana. Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Oh. Radha Madhava. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Yamuna Tiravana Chari. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Yamuna Tiravana Chari. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha. Jaya Giravaradhari. Yashoda Nandana. Jaya Brajajana Ranjana. Jaya Yamuna Tiravana Chari. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Chari. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jayam Vishnupada Param Sabari Brajika Shariya Sutara Sutta Sisimatis Divine Grace Hisi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Namo Jabadai Gusmasai Bidai Smati Vedanta Swami Ramani Sri Saraswati Vigoravani Vijarini Nirvishi Shishanyavadi Pasachati Shatarini. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we're looking at Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 9. Dhruva Maharaj returns home. And this is being translated simultaneously, correct? You're doing it? Haribol, Prabhu. Thank you. Love you. Haribol. Okay. Okay, so this doesn't have a purport. So we will be just going through the Sanskrit quickly and the translation, and then we'll go to text 56. So here's 55. Chuta palava vashashran mukta dhama vilambibihi upaskritang pratidvaram aphankumbai sadipakahai. Translation. At each and every gate there were burning lamps and big water pots decorated with differently colored cloth, strings of pearls, flower garlands, and hanging mango leaves. Text 56. This is for all of us. Prakharair Gopuragarai Shatakumbha Parichadhai Sarvato Alankritam Srimad Vemana Shikara Jubihi Prakarair Gopuragharai Shatakumbha Parichadahai Sarvato Lankritang Srimad Vimana Shikara Jubihi Prakarair Gopuragarai Shatakumbha Parichadahai Sarvato Lankritang Srimad Vimana Shikara Jubihi Sarvato Lankritang Srimad Vimana Shikara Jubihi Parakarai Satakumparichadahai Sarvato Lankritang Srimad Vimana Shikara Jubihi Shatakumbha Parichadahai Sarvato Lankritang Srimad Vimana Shikara Vaishnavis Prakarayar Gopura Gharai Sarvato Lankritang Srimad Vimana Shikara Jubihi. One more Mataji would be nice. All right. Okay. Prakarahai with surrounding walls. Gopura, city gates. Agarahai with houses. Shatakumbha, golden. Parichadahai with ornamental work. Sarvataha, on all sides. Alankritam, decorated. Srimat, valuable, beautiful. Vimana, airplanes. Shikara, domes. Jubihi, glittering. Translation. In the capital city there were many palaces, city gates, and surrounding walls, which were already very, very beautiful. And on this occasion, all of them were decorated with golden ornaments. The domes of the city palaces glittered, as did the domes of the beautiful airplanes which hovered over the city. Please repeat. In the capital city, there were many palaces, city gates, and surrounding walls, which were already very, very beautiful. And on this occasion, all of them were decorated with golden ornaments. The domes of the city palaces glittered. Well, that was kind of funny there. The domes of the city palaces glittered, as did the domes of the beautiful airplanes which hovered over the city. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Key. Okay, we're going to charade this out a little bit. Regarding the mention of airplanes here, It is suggested by Srimad Vijayadvaj Tirtha that Vijayadvaj Tirtha that on this occasion the demigods from higher planetary systems also came in their airplanes to bestow their blessings on Dhruva Maharaj on his arrival at the capital of his father. It also appears that all the domes of the city palaces, as well as the pinnacles of the airplanes, were decorated with ornamental work in gold. And being reflected by the sunshine, they were all glittering. We can observe a specific distinction between Dhruva Maharaj's time and modern days, for the airplanes in those days were made of gold, whereas at the present moment, airplanes are made of base aluminum. This just gives a hint. Who said hint? Very good. This just gives a hint of the opulence of Dhruva Maharaj's days and the poverty of modern times. Do it a few times because it's times, plural. Okay, Jai, Haribol, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namo Mishtabhadaya Krishnastai Bhutare Srimad Bhagavatam Swami Ramadi Namaste Saraswati Vigoravani Vicharini Nevrishesha Shunyavadi Pasachari Shatarini Jai. We're looking at the times of Dhruva Maharaj, when there were no times, meaning there were no newspapers. You know, the Delhi Times, the this Times, New York Times, LA Times, you know. There were no newspapers. There was only Shastra. Well, people maybe didn't read so much. Everything was orally received through the ears and retained. And people used their brain power. Things registered very well in olden times. And when you hear something, you put the picture in your head and you keep it there. It's like a computer. People use the brains like a computer, and they didn't have to resort to, you know, let's say, other materials. You know, didn't have to even resort to writing. And so we're talking about Satyayuga and similar times like that. It's a very different kind of time. In this current time, Kali Yuga, it's understood that we are very distracted, very easily distracted, and whatever you want to keep in your head gets kind of interrupted. It's even hard to get it inside because there's all kinds of interferences coming from all directions. And therefore, we live in an age where people are not clear-headed. Therefore, things need to be written down. And Srila Prabhupada once said that in Kali Yuga, to remember something means you have to write it down. So start writing things down. Come on. Okay, so this is, you know, you record. You know, Ganesh was there to record the Mahabharata because Kali Yuga's it was just on the verge of coming, you know, descending to the world, and it was necessary that things be written down so that people could then have reference later on, because there's a tendency to forget. Now, Krishna does talk about, in the Bhagavad Gita, about forgetfulness. Does anybody remember where he mentions about forgetfulness? There's a 15:15. Yes, Krishna is in the heart of everybody, in the Hridi. Sarvashachang Hridi Sanivishta Mata Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. So what this means to say is that Krishna, who's the source of all, may the source be with you, He says that I am the origin of remembrance, of intelligence, and also of forgetfulness. So he's to blame for our forgetfulness. Is that right? He's to blame for our forgetfulness. So not remembering is coming from God. Remembering is coming from God. And in fact, everything is coming from God. And hallelujah, that's the last word. There's nothing more to be said. Yes, Krishna is in the heart, and he's the source of everything. So we forget, and therefore things need to be recorded down. What's been recorded by the grace of great scribes, Vedic scribes, is that in former times everything was very opulent. Now, what we are told in our educational institutions, at least in many places in the world, we came from apes. Our ancestors were apes. Hairy, strong, stinky, probably. Let's say good climbers, big, tall, probably even ugly. And those were our ancestors. That's what we're told. We came from there. And eventually we evolved to what we are now. Something beautiful. Of course, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. And an ape would look at us and say, you humans are ugly. And we will look at them and we'll say, you guys are ugly. And who's right? And who's wrong? It's all kind of relative, isn't it? It's dependent on the species that you come from. If you're born into a species, Chinese, everyone who's Chinese looks very nice. If you're Irish, everyone who's Irish looks nice, etc. It's the way it is. If you're a worm, you know, and you're a male worm, I guess you look attractive to a female worm. I'm not sure if worms are male and female, but Hare Krishna. Even trees are. I'm from Canada. We have maple trees. You've heard about that? Maple trees. Have you ever had maple syrup before? Yes? If you haven't had it, you're missing something, I'm telling you. Okay. So there's male maple trees and female maple trees. The male trees, the sugar maples, there's different kinds of maple trees. Sugar maples, the male trees are intense red, intensely red. And the female sugar maple trees are intensely yellow. That's how you make a distinction. So anyways, I guess that maple trees can fall in love with each other. They're attracted to. But beauty is quite relative. Now, here we have a description. This is quite common in the many chapters of the Bhagavatam. We have many themes that seem to be just consistent. Many themes are there. And say, for instance, the genealogical table of families coming from the Surya dynasty, coming from the lunar dynasty. For instance, the theme of succession is very strong in the Bhagavatam. Who's going to succeed? A king is doing good. He's thinking, I've got to continue, my clan should continue to rule. How to do it? Well, I have to have progeny, more particularly male progeny, so another king can replace me. So to ensure that this will happen, there must be wives, queens, and sometimes one queen is not enough, sometimes 2, 3, 4, like in the case of the Ramayana. And then in other cases, Chitraketu, 1 million don't work, queens, and therefore you have to call in the sadhus, you know. A sadhu will come, offer something like kheer or something. Take this, Mataji, and she will take, and then there will be proper impregnation, and let's say then a child is an avatar, so it's like in the case of avatars. The Bhagavatam has 10 subject matters, 10 major subject matters. dealing with creation, primary, secondary creations, liberation. So many topics are there. And but we also have within the topics descriptions of what places used to look like. Very beautiful. And just like what is described here. Dhruva Maharaj was a young boy, a Kshatriya. He demonstrated his rajas. He got angry and he was justified. He was an abused child. He was actually psychologically abused. This is in modern day terms. We can speak of it like that. Because one of his parents was, well, two parents, 2 out of 3, were not nice to him. His stepmother was very nasty and said, you do not have the privilege to play with the king. It's my son who has the chance to do that. If you want to enjoy with your father, then you will have to take birth in my womb, and then you will be privileged. So this is very nasty talk. Very nasty from a parent, because children are very, like impressionable. And then perhaps worse is that the father, the king, didn't say anything. He didn't correct the situation because he was so much in love with that queen, too infatuated with her. Then the co-wife that we're talking about, Suniti, picked up on this, and she said, I'm not, let's say, favored by the king, so therefore there is this kind of treatment going on. So so Dhruva was abused, and what children get, just like anybody else, they get angry if they feel there hasn't been fair treatment. So to deal with his anger, well, first of all, he went to his mother, who acted very apropos as his guru. His mother, Suniti, acted as a proper guru by directing Dhruva and saying, go to the forest. Well, sort of indirectly, she said, go to the forest. Dhruva was saying, I want to prove I am someone in this world. Isn't it? Children are like that. I want to prove I'm somebody. I want to be loved and I want to be appreciated. So I want to know where I can find that appreciation, how I can prove that I'm somebody and no one will mistreat me. So he's thinking like a Kshatriya and behaving like one. So his mother is saying, well, so then Vishnu, if you want something in life, go to Vishnu. Dhruva says, where do I find him? He says, well, people who look for Vishnu, they usually go to the forest. And so he got the idea in his head, I'll go to the forest. And before you know it, his mother, uh-oh, I told him to go to the forest. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Because he's gone. He's gone. Nowhere to be found. So he spent 6 months in the forest, 5-year-old child. What are the chances of surviving? I've been picking up a little bit on the news here, and there's a hungry tiger that's killed at least 8 people now. The last victim was a farmer, right? And in somewhere, which place in India was that? A tiger that's eating people? You've not heard? And this right now, currently. And this. No, I'm talking about a tiger in India right now is eating people. 50 kilometers from here? 150. Let's go. Let's go. Let's find him. I think that if we went there to that area where the tiger's lurking and we had like a kirtan, you circle it like you were circling us during the kirtan, I think that something would happen to the tiger, like, would at least get calmed down, chill out a little bit. Okay, so anyways, Dhruva went to the forest and he was there for 6 months to deal with his issues. Issues. When people were usually where there's issues, there's tissues. People have to grab a tissue. Where there's an issue, people get angry, they cry, they get all emotional, and you have to grab a tissue. Wherever there's an issue, there's usually a tissue to follow through. So no doubt when Dhruva left home, his mother was very upset, father was very upset. Oh, a lot of people were upset. The The whole community, kingdom was upset that their little boy, their little prince, and people are into princes and princesses. Just like, what's the name? Kate and William. Like every follows them, you know, from the UK. You know, the ideal couple. Everybody follows. What did they do? Did she sneeze? Did he blow his nose? Did she grab a tissue? And like everybody, everything they do. Well, we're talking about the royal couple in the UK. People love to follow royalty and follow everything they do. You know? Oh, they stood up. Oh, they sat down. Like everything has to be recorded like this. And they're just normal people. They go to the bathroom like you and me. Anyways. So we've got the situation where the young prince, loved by everybody, has left. They don't know where he is. And when he was gone, he actually went with an intent to be able to prove that he's somebody. He went with a strong ambition. He met Narada Muni. Narada Muni is a great guru. He's got disciples all over the universe. And he said, you know, I can see you're a Kshatriya. You're a little Kshatriya kid. You're angry. You're very determined. You've got Dhrida Vrata. You know, you got a lot of determination in you. You're determined to get to what you want. Get what you want to get. So I'll give you a mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Come on, Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And Dhruva took that to heart, and mantras have power, they have potency, they purify. So in the process of his chanting this mantra, he got purified, and his ambition became less. It transformed to purity. He got rid of, you know, he stopped using tissues, let's put it that way. Didn't need any more tissues. And he just decided now, I'm going to go home now. He had mastered, he'd done pranayama and different yogic practices. But above all, he practiced bhakti yoga, he chanted. And he got so pure to the point where the Supreme Lord Vishnu Narayan did appear before him to give him protection. So having a guru, having Krishna, having sadhu, in this case his mother was like a guru figure. And he had everything. You can't ask for anything more. For a human being to have a super duper guru, two super duper gurus, and then a third guru, because God is also guru, right? God is guru. Is that correct? Because we are hearing from Krishna, the Bhagavad Gita, and it's all about how to deal with life. So he's being a guru. He's the Adi Guru. So Dhruva was very blessed. You couldn't ask for anything more. And now it was decided, and news got around, without a newspaper, that the little prince is coming home. He's coming home. His issues are gone. And how he was received. Everything was decorated so beautifully, honoring a king. I think it was when Bill Clinton came to India, the President of the United States of America, when Bill Clinton came in, India just decked out the town. They just went all out. I heard about it. They even knocked down houses to make everything look very nice. Of course, you know, when a dignitary comes, don't show them the slums. We won't go down those roads. We don't go where all the trash is, because Kali Yuga is full of trash. And even in a nice city like Delhi, where there's very nice places, let's go and see where real life is. Hello, Kali Yuga. Hello, Kali Yuga. Yes, yes. So in former times, there weren't these slums. There wasn't this poverty. In fact, it was the responsibility of the Rajas, the Maharajas, the great kings, to see to it that everything was well looked after. And there were even airplanes. I was reading the book that just came out with Lokanath Swami. And Lokanath Swami was at Juhu Beach with Prabhupada and some other devotees on a morning walk. And the geese were flying. You know, you have geese in a V shape, like a Vishnu form. You've seen that, haven't you? Have you seen it? Geese? Geese, you know, birds. Yeah, geese. And they fly in the air like in a V shape. Have you seen that? Do you know where they're from? They're from Canada. Haribol. They're called Canada geese. And, Lokanath Swami was actually asking Prabhupada a little bit about the dynamics of their flying and how it is that one bird decides to go like the head bird and they all immediately go like this. And you know what Prabhupada said about that? He said, that is their intelligence. That is their intelligence. And he said, you are thinking that they are not intelligent, but they're very intelligent. They're more intelligent than you. So they call it instinct, right? When the topic of instinct came up, as devotees were talking to Prabhupada about instinct, said it's not instinct, it is Paramatma that is directing. Give the credit to God once again. That it's not instinct, it's a scientific word, instinct. Like it's a word to say we don't know. But actually it's intelligence. Prabhupada hit the nail on the head once again, boom! And he said it's intelligence. And where is that intelligence coming from? Paramatma. So in any case, the birds are flying like this. And then Prabhupada continued on and said, let's say you have a whole fleet of airplanes. And they try to do with what the birds are doing, who are very intelligent. And the planes are flying and they will crash and they will be finished. They will not be able to do it. Because the birds are very intelligent as far as flying is concerned. Right? So, going back to this particular case, Dhruva Maharaj, he actually came home, but it wasn't his final home. He came to a place where everything's very beautiful. And as Prabhupada indicates, airplanes are made of just aluminum. And aluminum is not the most precious metal. In fact, when you cook in aluminum pots, when you cook like a sabji in the pot, aluminum goes into the sabji. Ah, isn't that very nice? Kali Yuga, aluminum poisoning, Haribol. People die from aluminum poisoning. So we're very proud of our aluminum. We're very proud of our plastic. At Prabhu, plastic, Haribol. We have plastic cars now. Rubber and plastic. Ooh, precious stones and materials, metals. It's nonsense. And in former times, everything was actually precious. What's that in the Lord of the Rings? Precious, whatever that creature said. So precious. So here we're very proud of everything we have. But look at former times. Basically, we do not support the ape theory. We do not accept Darwin. In fact, he said, I simply allowed myself to speculate on the matter. That simply means I just let my mind run wild, and I came up with an idea. He should be from no idea. You don't get it? Okay. He had an idea. He had an idea. And it wasn't a good idea. Because this is what people are taught in modern education. We came from apes. There's one person, he said that, frankly, I do not believe in the theory of evolution, that we came from apes. Because I haven't seen any gentlemen appear into the world yet. And Prabhupada makes the argument that, well, if humans came from apes, Homo sapiens came from apes, then why isn't it happening now? Because we have apes in Africa. And why aren't they producing half ape, half man? Why isn't it? And let's put it this way. If somebody's going to tell me that my ancestors are apes, then I'll say, okay, Hanuman, Sugriv, I'll take them as my ancestors. You can have your cavemen theory. Haribol. Because it was the Hanuman clan They could talk, they had intelligence, they had physical strength. Even Hanuman, if he's like a simian personality, like a monkey, he was like a brahmachari. What monkey is like that? What monkeys can control themselves? So we're talking about a very high evolved kind of civilization during the time of Ram Leela and Treta Yuga, which is yet to come. So anyways, we're looking at all these beautiful, situations here, and Dhruva is received with pomp and circumstance. Just like when Ram and Lakshman and Sita and Hanuman and a whole entire group of simian army people, they came to Ayodhya and they were greeted with flames of joy and lots of opulence, because Ayodhya was a beautiful city. It was very beautiful, right? I like how people say it in India. Beautiful. It's the way it should be said. It's very beautiful. So now in Kali Yuga, do we find beautiful features? Yes, we do. Little pockets here and there. But we're doing a very, very good job at making everything not beautiful, very ugly. We're very good polluters. The water, the air, the ether, very contaminated. We don't see these features anymore that are described here. They could be there, but they're not. We're doing a lot of damage. In fact, I was quite shocked the last time when we went to Ujjain. And this is kind of like an embarrassing situation. It does happen in our own society. I went with my godbrothers to Ujjain. And we had a seminar, like a leadership seminar, workshop, about guruship. Let's say leadership. And we took one day where we went to the very place where Krishna and Balaram had their education by Sanipani Muni. I forget the name of the actual place. Avanti. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Bless you. And so we were served, we sat down, it was time for prasad. We had to swim in the river there. What's the name of the river? See how good you are. You don't know? Vroom, anyway. And so when brahmachari, they brought the prasad, they served it out on sort of like, it was like styrofoam plates. Bad news. Styrofoam plates. We had nice prasadam. And so one brahmachari took it and threw them over the wall. And myself and Anutama, I said, Anutama, come here. Look what they're doing here in the Holy Dham. Look what's going on. I said, oh my God, this is terrible. So at the same time, while you're serving sadhus, we have to also be thinking about what we're doing with the planet Earth. Bhumi is also a devotee. If it wasn't for Bhumi, Vishnu wouldn't be coming, right? I mean, she's the one that gets abused. And then she calls for help. Help! It's an old Beatles song. Help! I need somebody. Help! Not just anybody. Help! I need somebody. Vishnu! Of course, the Beatles don't say Vishnu. Anyway, so, hey, okay. Was that for me? Yeah, I can sing a few more Beatles songs if you want. So in any case, it's Bhumi that calls for help when she's in distress. And she goes to Brahma, hoping that this is the bureaucratic, universal bureaucratic system, hierarchical system. Go to Brahma. Brahma says, there's not much I can do. Let's go to Vishnu. Let's go to the top man. So they went to Vishnu, Brahma, and Bhumi in the form of a cow, and asked for this help and said, I'll come. And this has happened a few times. During the time of Ravana, during the time of Kamsa. Several times this has happened. It's a story that is repeated again and again when there's a call for help. And then because Bhumi pressed the alarm button, help, therefore help comes. And Vishnu comes, the avatars come to this world to help. So we have to thank Bhumi. We don't think about that very often, do we? Let's thank her, at least. And Bhumi, it's from Bhumi's womb that so many things come. Of course, Krishna's a seed-giving, planter of everything. But it's from Bhumi that all wonderful things come. Potatoes, mangoes, whatever you want. What do you like? What's your favorite food? Tell us your secret. No, come on, something specific. Tell us. We want to know more about you. You are very quiet. You don't want to be glorified, but we just want to know one little thing about you. What's your favorite food, please? Tell me. Favorite food. Is that your favorite fruit? Okay, great. So mango. So mango's coming from Bhumi, and of course Bhumi's coming from Krishna. So we have to give credit where it's due. So, in terms of the story of abuse, we are doing a lot of abusing. We're not careful enough. We trash things so easily. There should at least be a compartmentalized system to recycle things. And I'm not saying you don't have that here. I'm saying we need to be a little more careful. We're a very wasteful society. So just a little bit about myself. I'm what you call a baby boomer. I was born after the war, Second World War. So our parents were very frugal because they went through war for 5 years. They went for depression for 5 years. And that means whatever you have, you value. Don't let water leak. Don't leave the electricity on more than needs to be there, etc., etc. Things like that. You have food, you eat everything on your plate. Anybody who was born in the 50s in North America, their parents said, you eat everything that's on your plate because the children in Africa are starving to death. You can ask anybody from that period. Their mother and father said this. Everybody said the same thing. You eat everything on that plate because children are starving in Africa. Just like when John F. Kennedy was killed, and there's 50th anniversary of that just occurred. You ask anybody in North America, that includes Canada, where they were when they heard that John F. Kennedy was shot. They all will tell you exactly where it happened because it was so traumatic. And I remember when I was a kid, we were in school and the teacher came in and said, President Kennedy's been shot, and everybody went, they gasped. So, what I'm trying to say is that coming from a certain generation, after war, after depression, my parents instilled that in us, said, do not waste anything. So Prabhupada was like that too. He didn't like a light bulb to be on at night if it didn't need to be. He didn't like you can read about it. He didn't like that a tap is dripping unnecessarily. I don't know, that wouldn't be right to say bonkers, but he would get very, very upset about this wasting thing. So you may wonder how this is related to the story, is that whatever you have that's precious, utilize it in a nice way. And so what is precious now, maybe we don't have gold at our disposal as what used to be there. But what is precious is the trees. And I credit Delhi for growing a lot of trees, because when I first started coming to India, I said, oh, this place is going to turn into a desert if they don't do something about it. And lo and behold, anyways, some people got wise, and they decided we have to plant trees. If we're going to knock down some trees to put up buildings, we have to replace them with many trees. So thank the city planners of Delhi for doing that. Let's hear it one more time. Of course, I'm asking you to clap once in a while. It keeps everyone a little perked up, And it also sounds like popcorn, because everybody likes popcorn. Reminds them. Okay, so anyways, this is the thing. When somebody is coming that has been gone for a long time, you greet them nicely. This is hospitality. It's not just Indian hospitality, it's Vaishnav hospitality. It's common sense. The beautiful feature of Indian culture is that if someone comes to your home, that's God coming to you. Well, it could be. It just might be. It might be, in this case, Daridra Narayan. Like, I mean, Narayan, who just might come to appear poor. He's not. But, you know, so that's the mentality. And it's not like if somebody comes to your door, get off my property or I'll shoot. You know, like a hillbilly mentality. Like that, you know. But it's really, you've come to my home. Oh, very nice. At least sit down, some water, and so on like that. I remember one Bengali gentleman who spent time with Prabhupada. Our first temple in Canada opened up in Montreal. And Prabhupada spent some time with Mr. Mahadev Chakravarti. Mahadev Chakravarti came to Canada, and he was a math teacher. And I got to know him very well. And they got kind of close. Prabhupada was so happy to be able to talk to somebody in his language. And Mr. Chakravarti, he said a few things about, he used to tell me something that he had heard when he was a kid. So he said, so there was this beggar and he went to a rich man's house. And he was begging alms. And so the rich man, when he went to the door where the beggar was, he just slammed the door and so the beggar, he went away. Then he came back and he said, he went again, he was begging alms. Went like this, you know, the usual. You know? And so the rich man, he opened the door, closed the door. That went on repeatedly. So the rich man got very frustrated and said, this time I'm going to take some ashes. I'm going to take some ashes and I'm going to throw it at him. So the beggar came to the door, opened the, you know, the rich man opened the door, here you go. And, you know, and covered in black and gray. And the beggar said, hey, thanks, finally you gave me something. Maybe it wasn't what he wanted, but he gave him something. So the whole mood of giving, it's very important. And it's a Vaishnava trait. We are givers. We shouldn't be takers. What do we give? In Krishna consciousness, what do we give? We give gold in the form of the books. Well, there was one lady who wrote a letter to Srila Prabhupada and said, I'm very disturbed with your members. They are very, very aggressive and very, very rude, and they're pushing their literature on me, and so I have this complaint. So Srila Prabhupada wrote back. He did the honorable thing. He wrote back and said, please forgive them for their behavior. So Prabhupada was apologetic, and at the same time he said, but try to understand what they are giving. They are giving gold. They're giving gold. And so the books are very much valued. They're gold. So that's what we are giving. I have one godbrother in Detroit, and he was distributing books. And he made a complaint to Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada, some of the books that we are distributing, people are throwing them in the garbage. In other words, they're not valuing them. So his complaint was that. They're throwing them in the garbage. And Prabhupada said, what can we do? They're throwing their babies in the garbage. Heavy stuff. So what is gold? We don't find much gold today. We do find gold in the form of wisdom. I mean, Europeans came to India, they took everything. They ravaged it a few times over. They took everything. Gold, diamonds, spices, silks, you know. A lot of cheating went on. And but what they didn't bring back, what they didn't take from India was the wisdom. They didn't do that. So Prabhupada came for that. He came to bring wisdom. Thanks. Popcorn, come on. More popcorn. With lots of butter on it, right? Popcorn with lots of butter on it. And we're going to get to the butter session soon, meaning the, breakfast. But now we have to reanalyze, we have to rethink what's gold in the Kali Yuga. What is gold? Well, it's the wisdom, it's knowledge, it's devotee association, it's deities, and it's perhaps the most important thing is the devotees. More important, we should not forget that. So sometimes we think chanting is the most important thing. Is it? No. Answer no. Devotee is the most important thing because you can have the mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. But if you don't have the devotee with you, there's not going to be any more Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Do you get it? So in other words, it's because of a devotee that you've got the holy name. The holy name may descend upon you, land on your lap, and you can take advantage of it. But there isn't a devotee around there to encourage you to continue to chant. There won't be any more Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So along with the devotee is the best package deal you're going to get in Kali Yuga. There is richness. Because the name is there, the wisdom is there, that person knows how to make prasadam, etc., etc. Knows how to be a gentleman, knows how to be a lady. So everything's there in the form of a devotee. Everything. Look at this devotee here. Looks like Buddha sitting there in meditation. And, he's everything. He is like the deity. We should see devotees like deities. We don't always do it like that. We don't always treat it like that. We have a few things that we need to tidy up. Like say, when you go to a temple, you go to someone's house, the shoes are all over the place. They're not being taken care of. So that means the pilgrims are not being taken care of. I'm not saying that in this temple. I say that and I see it in a lot of places. You have a nice program here. There's a few things about our culture that needs a little tweaking. We got to bring the gold back. But this is one area, the shoes. People just kick off. We do that. We don't even value our shoes. We kick them right in front of the door. And there's a big pile up right in front of the door. So somebody, Mrs. Patel, she's 98 years old, she has to go through the door. And she has to climb over your Govardhan hill that you created. So we're not totally conscientious yet about simple things like that. I would say when we get our shoe program in order, then this movement is gold. Then we're getting somewhere. Of course, I would just like to really congratulate the devotees in the Delhi area for being so fired up, enthusiastic, and so many temples are around here, and gorgeous, arrangements, beautiful buildings, everything like some of the descriptions that are given here of Dhruva Maharaj. And I'd like to say, Dhruva Maharaj, he became very purified, but he still had issues in the end. He still had to grab the tissues. And he got angry again when his brother died. That whole anger, that krodha, which, of course, none of you have, right? Nobody has anger here. That surfaced again. That anger surfaced. And he had to deal with it. And his Swami Manu came in to stop this killing. So, again, it's the great forefather, ancestors, it's the elders that come in to help our situation. And where if you have a civilization, you can't even call yourself a civilization if you don't have elders in the community to help to give some direction and keep Dharma in place. So that's so important. So we did a plug-in for elders, ancestors, Bhumi, who else? Do we give some credit to Vishnu, right? What else? Where else did we give credit? Cow, to the mother cow. Where else did we give credit? To the city planners. Yes, very good. Who else? Devotees. Number one, especially. Okay. All right. Anybody else we gave credit to? Books, yes. What else? Huh? Nature, yes. Mangoes. What else? We gave credit. We're forgetting a couple of things here. The which? Water. Oh yeah, drip the water. Water's precious. Absolutely, yeah. What else do we give credit to? Prabhupada, we give credit to Prabhupada, yes. Deities. Everything on the plate. Yeah, everything on the plate is precious. You give credit to the whole plate. What else? Kirtan? Yes. Tiger? I don't think. Canada? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You get me talking, I'll have to say something. Maple syrup, right? What else? What else did we, where else did we give credit? Dhruva? I'll give you a hint. Dhruva. Give you a hint. No? Huh? No. Yeah, I'm here. I'm an egotistical person. What else? Vaishnavas are givers. Yes, Vaishnavas in general. Hanuman, we gave credit to Hanuman. We didn't give credit to Darwin. Okay. We gave credit to India for clearing the path for Bill Clinton. What else? Who else? Dhruva Maharaj. Just give you a hint. Dhruva. Mother Siniti. Yeah, she led him on the right path. She acted as an appropriate guru. So we want to thank you very much. Are there any questions or comments before we get into the butter program? Any questions?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
He's giving blessings here.
Let me speak.
Do you have time?
One point only. Only 1 point.
Oh, you have a question. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
One comment is there. Dhruv Maharaj, very nice. You explained very nice that Dhruv Maharaj wanted to show that he is somebody. And when he was purified and the Lord fulfilled his desire, and now he is received very nicely, but actually he is feeling very shame inside because he does not have now material desire.
Yes. Dhruva Maharaj felt regret. Some regret, yes. Regret is necessary because humility is necessary to advance in Krishna consciousness. And within humility, there is regret for some things we have done. There's guilt. There's a little component of guilt. Think about this. A person who's humble feels unworthy, guilty. I've done so many bad things. So Dhruva made some mistakes, got angry. Yes. Okay. We're talking, just 1 minute.
You talked about the devotee. The holy name is there, everything is there. The key thing is the devotee.
Key thing is the devotee.
Devotee inspires to take the holy name. Devotee inspires to do all the activities in the... So what are the key things which we have to follow to have a good devotee relationship so that we can keep going?
What are the key things that makes up the devotee to
have a closer relationship?
To have a relationship. It's about relationship. To be conscientious, to be sensitive to other people's feelings. It's not about you, it's about the other person. The person next to you is more important than you. See it like that. So now you're looking at me, and I'm asking you to not look at me for a minute. Look at the person next to you. Okay, look at the person next to you. And just look at that. Somebody has to look at Buddha. Come on. And look at the person next to you. And just say, you're more important than I am. Just say, Prabhu. Just say to that person, Prabhu, I'm your servant. Okay? So now I think that when you did it now, you felt it. You know? But usually in the course of the day, these genuine feelings sort of wear off. So you have to constantly take a fresh look at how you see the devotees. just somehow or other convince yourself of our actual philosophy. And our philosophy is that the devotee is the most important commodity in our life. And to get to God, it's through the devotee. So first of all, absorb this message, our Bhagavat philosophy, and then now put it into the world of action. Now start to act on it. Okay? Does that help out?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you. Okay. Hey Jai. Hey Jai. Boo, 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 boo. Boo. Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha vaishnavebhyo namo namaha vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Echo. Oh, please.